Hey everyone, Mitch Goldberg here. You're watching Be the Boss of Your Money. It's been a little while, hasn't it? So, just a quick update, some housekeeping stuff. I want to focus on what's really important. As the title says, I really don't give two shites about GameStop, but it was just making headline news today. I'm going to tell you what's important. It's been about 2 weeks. So, if you don't know and if you don't follow us too closely or that closely on social, we moved offices last week. I'm very excited. So this is a whole new setup. I'm just testing it out. This is my first time making any kind of video or live streaming from the new office. So I'm just trying to get my bearings straight, where trying to get where I'm going to have my cameras set up and lights and all these other things. So it's a different setup. Even the cables I have are no good anymore because new office, you need to do different size cables. It's just, it's a freaking mess, but I happen to enjoy the electronics. I'm liking this stuff. So, couple of things to get into. Just a quick word about what's important and what's not, because sometimes we lose our way, and there are so many good things to focus on with regard to what's happening in the market. And I feel like people are still stuck in a bank crisis, which never really materialized. Worries about a recession, which has yet to arrive. It still may arrive, of course, but I don't think people are paying attention to the things that I'm seeing, and we're going to just go through that. So I'm going to roll a quick intro, and we're going to do a quick live. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Words of wisdom, words of encouragement are always appreciated. Let me know what you think about how clearly I sound. If I'm coming in nice and clear, it's I haven't soundproofed the office yet. I'm in my new office, so here we go. All right, a couple of big stories to go through today that you need to know. First, in what just has, in what I think is the biggest stroke of genius like ever, once again, Elon Musk pulls the rabbit out of the hat. You may have seen about 2 weeks ago, Ford decided to use the Tesla charging stations. So when you get an EV, a Ford EV, you can now charge at Tesla stations. And the Tesla charging stations are just popping up everywhere. They're at hotels. Where I live, the Uncle Giuseppe supermarket has a whole bunch of them right there in the parking lot. And Ford made a really, what I think, good decision by breaking away from the OEM, original equipment manufacturing pack, and decided, you know what, people are worried about range, and by the time we get to have the charging stations and the platform that people expect so they can take their Ford EVs on the road, it just takes too much time. Tesla has it down. They're all over the place. Brilliant for Ford. Well, just now, GM, they literally just announced that they're going to do the same thing. So now GM EVs are also going to work with the Tesla charging stations. Stroke of genius. So I don't have my equipment set up yet, so I'm just going to move out for a second. All right, you see that? Let me pop myself up in the corner. That didn't quite do what I wanted to do. Here we go. So let me pop myself up in the corner. All right, I'll get to it anyway. Tesla's up over $10, almost 5% in trading today, and it's up about another 4% in aftermarket trading right now as we speak. So it's just about $20 a share. Stock is trading at 244. It was what, 165, 162 about a month ago. So just hats off to Elon Musk. Brilliant move. I think it's a brilliant move for the entire EV industry, because now we could really say we have an EV industry. Just, you could now charge your car on the road, not just at your house or your place of business. And Tesla charging stations are all over the place. This is great for Tesla. It's great for Ford. It's great for GM. And it makes standards. Imagine this. You buy a gasoline powered car with an ICE, right? Internal combustion engine. And you just know that you can charge it at any you could fill it up rather at any gas station because there's a standard. The tube that goes into the gas tank is the same no matter where you go. And that's really important. And now we're going to see that with EVs. So this really is great for the industry. Great for it's just I don't think it's too good for other charging companies, but for the big ones that count, I think this is a big deal. Let's take a look here at Amazon. Amazon had a big day today because of some analyst comments, but there was an open letter yesterday, an analyst writing about Amazon, and they have to just get back to focusing on one or two things or spread out too much. I thought that the letter was disagreeable to me. I think Amazon has done very well by getting into different things, and that's the beauty of Amazon is they always try different things. And you know, Amazon's mantra is fail fast, succeed faster. They try new things. If they don't work out, they get out. And lo and behold, the stock has a really good day today. And some analysts came out with some positive things to say about it. And funny thing is, they are given. Let me just don't go away. Let me see if I could pop myself up in the corner here. I don't know why this isn't working for me. I kind of can tell why. All right, I'm back. All right, you see that? I'm in the corner over here. Much better. So let's take a look. The XLK was up 1%, and the news today is like, oh, well, one part of the news is positive comments on Amazon making the XLK go up. Get you a quick quote on Amazon. So Amazon up $3. It's interesting that Amazon is not even in the XLK. That is the select spider, the S&P depository receipt that tracks purely tech stocks. Amazon's not even in it. Amazon is in the discretionary ETF along with Netflix. It's not actually in the tech ETF. But if you want to say and you really don't know what you're talking about, and someone writes that this is why the XLK is up because of Amazon, you're talking really about the wrong ETF. I'm not saying it doesn't create goodwill all over the place. Rita, I see you, by the way, and thank you so much. I miss you. I haven't spoken to you in such a long time. We have to catch up. So let's keep going. And Joe is out there. Joe DeRa, good to see you, buddy. So Amazon has a decent day and makes, the XLK, the tech sector ETF, goes up a little bit because, whatever. It's just been a good overall day for technology, making up for yesterday's losses. And I just want to focus you on something else here. I've been talking about the fact that we could see new highs in the S&P 500 in the overall stock market this year. By the way, you can't invest directly into an index, but you could invest into a security that tracks or mimics the index. So let's see. How am I looking on camera 2? All right, camera 2 is working. This is pretty cool. Actually, I like this view a lot better. It's a little further away and doesn't make my head look too big in the camera. So what's with this haze? I don't know if you could see out my window here, but we've got this crazy haze in the New York City region from these fires in Nova Scotia and Canada. And around 3 o'clock, it just started to get darker and darker outside. And it looks like it's almost nighttime here, but hopefully you are suffering through, and well, hopefully you're not suffering too bad getting through this haze. It's just, everyone I know has been putting up with a runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, but it is what it is. There's alerts to stay inside. How do you stay inside all day? I've got to go to my car, I walk my dog, and eventually it gets everywhere. It gets into your air conditioning, it gets into the house, and there's really not much you could do about it. But listen, folks, these things happen once every 200 years. Don't worry about it, and we'll get through it. But one of the things I've been talking about is that we could see new highs in the major averages, and in particular the S&P 500 this year. I'm going to say 14, 15% away from the new high. I miss you too. I see you, Rita. Thank you. And we're not too far from it. I think we could see new highs this year. I've been saying that consistently on the show, and I don't think people are giving it enough credit to what the market could do. Inflation could really start to come down even more. It has been coming down. We get inflation numbers next Tuesday. The Federal Reserve meets next Tuesday and Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we expect the Fed to just stay pat on interest rates, and we'll see what they have to say. Unemployment claims, first time unemployment claims came out. Unemployment claims came out this morning. They were a lot higher than expected. So maybe tentative evidence that the Fed's rate hikes are starting to slow the economy enough to tamp down inflation. That is more important than whether or not the economy does well. If it was all about the economy doing well, stocks should be higher. All right. It's about interest rates. So that helped tech stocks in general. At lower interest rates typically helps companies with more growth that are trading at higher, valuations relative to the overall stock market. But one of the things we've been talking about is a broadening out. And, every time you see a sector like technology go up a lot, people start going out of the woodwork. Oh, it's a bubble. It must mean something's wrong. It's so stupid. Just because one sector is leading the market does not make an up market a bubble. There's always a leading sector. Pretty much every bull market starts with some sector leading the way that gets a lot of attention. It's whether or not it eventually spreads. And it is. Article today, CNBC used FactSet to screen for stocks in the S&P 500 that have been trading above their 50-day moving average in the market's past 5 sessions. What this means is stocks that are starting to go up, and other than the top 7 biggest tech stocks. Prudential, Amphenol, that's an industrial company, Morgan Stanley, Franklin Resources, Boston Properties, U.S. Bancorp, Comerica, United Rentals, an important industrial company, Huntington Bankshares, Caterpillar, GM, some others, Match Group, okay? There are a lot of different stocks in different sectors that are actually starting to trade a lot better and act a lot better. The overall market is actually acting to me really good, really strong. This relative strength of technology is not only still holding up, but it's spreading to other sectors, which is a real hallmark of a strong market. And if inflation, we expect to come down more, we expect the Fed to not have too much gas in the tank left as far as interest rates go. And you're having individual stories like Ford, GM, and Tesla powering those stocks higher. You put these things together, and to me, it's a pretty bullish outlook. Now, the S&P is coming up to some resistance, not far from 4,300 on that index. It's 4,293, and 4,300 seems to be like a place where stocks kind of stall out and go back down to like 3,800. We'll see if it happens again. I don't think it does, but we'll see. Oil, in the meantime, is down to $71 a barrel. So oil just has not been getting a lift. It just seems no matter what the Saudis do in terms of wanting to reduce production, they can't get oil to go higher. It tells you that the world is awash in oil. Yields coming down a little bit, the 10-year 3.722%, and the VIX. We talk about the VIX all the time. That's the volatility index. It's down to the 13s. That means that large investors who could afford to hedge their portfolios are not feeling terribly pessimistic, and yet a lot of people are out of the market and underinvested. That money finds its way back into the market because investors are getting more comfortable. Just another, I think, push, another tidbit to support a bullish thesis. Let's talk about what's not important, okay? GameStop was up. I'm sorry, GameStop was down about 20%. We're almost finished, guys. Just stick with me a little bit longer, okay? So GameStop was down about almost 20% today, and it's made headlines because the company fired their CEO unexpectedly, put a new CEO who is considered not a person who's up to the job, not a retail person who could turn this company around. So the stock, as you would expect, sells off. GameStop's not in the S&P 500. It's not in the Dow. It has virtually no impact on any trading. It's another meme. It's one of the old meme stocks. I should say, there still are meme stocks. Crummy companies with lousy fundamentals whose businesses are deteriorating, but they have big short positions. So Small investors get together typically in a platform like Reddit. They use Robinhood as a trading tool. They buy the stock, it goes up, and it creates a short covering situation. The stock goes up and up and up. And then you see things like AMC to the moon, GameStop to the moon, and people, they play that very speculative stuff, but it doesn't mean anything to me. And focus on what's important. Things that are important, not whether or not GameStop is up or down 20%. In the scheme of things, I very few people I speak to are in these kinds of stocks, and yet it gets a lot of play and it gets a lot of attention in the media. And I'm not a media basher. I'm in the media on a lot. But I do want to always give you my view of what's important, what's not, because this is what I do in the media. When I'm in the media, I want to tell you what's important. I was in the media recently saying, don't worry about the debt ceiling. Remember we were talking about that a few weeks ago? That's all we could talk about. And I said right here in this live stream, I am not changing a single solitary thing about my investments, about my financial plans, nothing, because this too shall pass. And it did. Whether or not we got a debt ceiling agreement, it passed. It always does. We move on to bigger and better. And then we have an even more frightening thing to think about going forward. Let's focus on what's important. Are you investing consistently? Are you watching your spending P's and Q's? I want you to focus on what works to building your net worth. When you invest, when you make a financial decision, forget investing, just any financial decision, there's three things you need to know. Does the financial decision get you closer to your goals? Does the financial decision bring you more or less financial security? And does the financial decision potentially help your money last longer in retirement? Those are the three questions that we talk about when we talk about anything financial. And the only way I think to really know this stuff is to have a plan. And I do believe there is a plan for you, a financial and investment plan. And if you are having trouble finding yours, that would be a good reason to reach out and have a conversation with me. You can check me out at clientfirststrategy.com. Send me a DM right here on social media, and we'll put some time down and we'll talk about it. It's probably well worth a 10 or 15-minute call for you. Certainly is worth my time because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. It's great to be back on the live stream, and I will continue to keep you posted on the important things. All right. Have a great day, and I'll be back to you on Monday.